Eamon had no time to dodge and could only use the leather bag in his hand to protect his head. But the leather bag was useless in the face of huge hailstones, and he was almost knocked to the ground. He stood up and wanted to rush under the car opposite as a shelter, but he was knocked to the ground and stopped, moving just 2 steps away. The terrible thing is that this disaster has just begun. On the top of the mountain in Los Angeles, the Hollywood billboard was being quickly swallowed up by a strong tornado and disappeared. On the other side, a huge film company was torn into pieces in an instant and swept into the sky. In an instant, this terrible super tornado quickly formed 3, sweeping and spreading rapidly, swallowing all the buildings, houses, and facilities in Los Angeles at the same time. 2 strong winds were combined into one and began to sweep the entire airport. The cars on the road next to it were also swept into the air in an instant and then smashed to the ground. At this time, there were still people reporting live what was happening here at this critical moment. But the next second they were hit by a huge billboard and swept into the sky. Looking around at this time, the whole city was already dark and shrouded by a hurricane, and the scene was extremely shocking. At this time, a man just noticed the abnormality outside. He slowly took off the shell on his head and slowly walked towards the door. He would see a scene that he could not even imagine in his dreams. At this moment, a fierce seawater was like a huge beast, sweeping toward the entire New York City. At this time, the old man in the car was still complaining that the radio suddenly lost signal, but he did not realize that the danger was approaching quietly. Just when he looked up, he was horrified to find the worrying scene in front of him. For a while, the whole street was flooded by seawater, and there were floating cars and citizens everywhere. When they were unprepared, they saw another huge wave rushing towards them in front of them. But at this time, a woman was still trying to take out the bag in the car. But she did not notice the seawater behind her. Fortunately, her boyfriend rushed to her and reminded her. This is a disaster movie released in the United States in 2004. Although it has been more than 20 years, it is still the ceiling of disaster movies. Friends who have not seen it are strongly recommended to watch the original film.